Good afternoon and welcome back to Mudgee. We're here for the first, there's a bit of history, we're here for the first ever Country Rugby League Women's Championship. Full tackle, full contact, full bore, and it's the Riverina Bulls up against the North Coast Bulldogs. My name is Morgan Campbell. I'm on for game 3 out of 4 this afternoon, and I've got James Robertson with me. And James, what are you looking forward to out of this game?
Well, firstly, it sounds like it's going to be a long day for yourself, but a great day of action. I'm looking for just these two teams to go out there and have a bit of fun. As you said, we're creating histories. We see the North Coast Bulldogs coming out onto the field. But these women, they play hard, they play fast. They're going to play pretty expansive football if the Bulldogs play anything like they did last week, and it should be a really exciting, hot contest.
Let's go through the sides. Number 1 for the Riverina Bulls. Number 1, Tess Staines. 2, Sophie Gaynor. 3, Catherine Pavir. 4, Lauren Dan. 5, Madeline Warburton. 6, Gabrielle Suckling. 7, Shannon Pike. She's the captain. 8, Loretta Liao Seve. 9, Ua Ravu. 10, Takalele Katoa. 11, Natasha Clemson. 12, Ivy Merlihan. And 13, Emma Hickey. For the North Coast Bulldogs, number 1, Shelley Long. 2, Carrie Williams. 3, Greta Smith. 4, Nikita Binge. 6, Sarah O'Connor. 7, Larissa Ward. 8, Lisa Bullivant. 9, Courtney Whitby. 10, Rachel Devine. 11, Tina McRae. 12, Chelsea Green. 13, Nicole Pender, and we'll see which one of the substitutes ends up out. No, it looks like 19, Ellie Johnston, is out on the field as well. We're just about ready to go. Riverina are in the maroon and gold. Very good CRL colours. They're running from left to right. The Bulldogs are in the traditional Bulldogs colours of blue and white. And we're underway in the first Women's Championship final on Bar TV. Morgan Campbell and James Robertson with you. And where in the world would you rather be? And there's a big hit up to start the game. Katoa got up and met the run fiercely. 25 minutes either side this game. So things are going to happen quickly for both these sides. But I think what James said is absolutely right. They're going to zing the ball around. And we'll see who ends up with the trophy. He's a big carry up the middle. I think there's been some changes to that North Coast side. We'll keep an eye on who's out there and who's not. But straight away there's an opportunity. And it's expansive play. That might be Pender in 13, making her way up the field. And they've made decent ground early here. It was the 19, in fact, Johnston. And Staines has knocked that back. So they get away with one there, Riverina. And they're well placed to set up a quarter of the way up the field. Clemson. Plenty of intensity straight away. They're up quickly. That might be a knock on. The referee with a decision to make decides to let it go on. Ravu with the pass. Merlihan with the run. We've had the Andrew Johns Cup in the men's under-16s. We've had the Laurie Daly in the under-18s. And now we've got Katoa with the ball for Riverina. It's play on. That's good footy. And there's a big shot
Johnson
from
on
Johnston.
That one.
Whammo on Hickey. Couple of tackles in hand. Here's Katoa. She's been a weapon for Riverina all through this competition. And she's grasped on halfway. Pike. Dam. This will be last. Or it would have been. Now they go the short side. Suckling. Arcing ball is a very good one. Here's Clemson. It's still Clemson. She's down. Suckling. Still going. Round the back. Ravu. Last tackle now. Suckling. Deputising at dummy half. The kick looks all right. It's trickling, trickling, trickling. It's going dead. James. It's a lively start.
Yeah, it is, Morgan, and just a bit unlucky there, just a bit too much on the kick. I think there's changes for both sides. Bit of a reshuffle here for the Riverina Bulls. We see the 13, Emma Hickey, out here on the right edge. So she did play on the right edge last week, named at lock to start, but back out on the right edge. Probably a bit familiar there with her. But yeah, good start from both sides. Let's see if they can keep the intensity up. And the shots just keep on coming.
They do. A really hard shot again on Kaylee Barnett. Now a bit of Benji action. We love to see that. And there's a big shot on Sarah O'Connor. Oh, the intensity. They're not missing. They've both travelled a long way. And not for nothing. Johnston. Sarah O'Connor's one to keep an eye on, doing the old Benji Marshall, throw it up to yourself and play on. That might be a knock on. It's called back. But they're spinning their wheels on the 40 a little bit here. Whitby's a dummy half. Finds the grass. That was a good attacking play in the first game, in the second game. Staines with this one. Awkward one to pick up, did it well. And she's met strongly. The game really being played between the 20s at the moment. Here's the 17, Amelia Lolatonga, on a run. This is Pike looking for the inside ball that was knocked down. And now there's a knock on. It'll be both ways, you'd think. And it should be a Riverina scrum.
We will get the scrum here, so just thought they'd want to go on to play the ball. I'm not too sure why that would happen. But, yeah, interesting play so far here from the North Coast Bulldogs. They do have Elle Johnson out on their left-hand side, and you spoke about O'Connor last week. She was instrumental in their surprise victory over the Dragons with some pretty big stars. But here come the Riverina Bulls side. That's inside the half of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Riverina, they won their first game against Newcastle quite strongly at St Mary's 22-6, and then lost in the second round to Illawarra South Coast. There's a chance here with Liao Seve. She's found the 11 over there, Clemson. Chance here for Pike still. But in the semi-final last week, they beat Central Coast 26-6. The top two, neither of them made the grand final, as here's Merlihan. Revue at dummy half. Finding Dam, rocked in the tackle. Really strong defence from the Bulldogs. Chance here though, Revue will have a run. Now Dam thought about getting it away, and the Bulldogs took that option away from her. This is last. Revue toward the middle, flat ball to Katoa. It's a threat. Still Katoa. Still Katoa. The ball over to the wing. They should be in the corner, and they are. Sophie Gaynor gets the try. And in the first women's grand final, we have the first try. It's Riverina who have it. And it was really good play from Takalele Katoa.
Yeah, opening points, the Riverina Bulls. And I was about to say earlier, the one thing that they did last week so well in their semi-final clash was Ravu getting out of dummy half, making sure she found Katoa, who was instrumental with her offloads, and she's so hard to tackle as well, drawing defenders, as you see on the replay there with that run, and then a nice catch pass out to the winger in Gaynor. Had one defender to beat, almost stripped the ball out, but just getting over the stripe there for the opening points.
Yeah, you're right, she had a bit to do. Still there, Sophie Gaynor. Not too much jubilant celebration either, just got up, thanks very much. Do that for a living. Now, Gabrielle Suckling's got the ball on the tee. We've seen some good footy early on here. And do let us know if you're watching where you are, or give a shout out to someone you're particularly barracking for. We've had good viewer numbers for these games. There's Suckling off the boot. I think she'd like that one again.
Yeah, well, a tough start out there on the sideline, but we've seen some pretty good goal kicking early in the 18s and the 16s. Collie and Roberts putting on a spectacular with the goal kicking shoes. We see the 18 coming on in Naomi George for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Would be disappointed with that start. Not really that much possession inside the half of the Riverina Bulls, but want to defend a bit better than they have early on.
The goal kicking today has been an absolute clinic. I think that's the second miss of the day so far. So the pressure's on here in this women's game to keep the goal kicking standard high.
Yeah, well, in these
they've been banging them
finals,
over from everywhere.
in these finals, points are so hard to come by. You want to take every point as it comes to you.
Away we go again, and it's Revue who takes it. I reckon that might be Katoa again, judging by the racket getting made down there by the Riverina support. She's lost it, and the ball's come out here. But it's going to come back to Riverina. It's been knocked on in the tackle by the North Coast.
Yeah, they're going to say Bulldogs hand on it. And I dare say they'd be best friends here, Ravu and Katoa, because they link up so well on every play. And yeah, just a one-on-one strip there in the replay from a Bulldogs player, and seemed to have been a knock-on in there somewhere. So scrum to the Bulldogs. To the Bulls. Let's see what they can do.
Referee today, incidentally, is Corey Martin for this Women's Championship game. And the touch judges Shanika Harper and Jack McGrath. Shanika Harper on the grandstand side in the first half. As here they come again. They're getting a lot of the ball early here. This is Clemson. And they're going to make another foray into North Coast territory. Here's Revu. Close enough to the sideline, but finds a way to ground. Game disappears very quickly with 25-minute halves. There's only 16 minutes left in the first half. Riverina with the lead and the mo. Here's Liao Seve taking a few with her.
And their prop forwards are so hard to contain, the Bulls. Their forward momentum off the back of their two prop forwards.
So Suckling with the ball, found Dam, who's been a willing runner. Real shotgun at the line, and that's last tackle, so they will get a look at the ball for the first time in what feels like quite a while.
Yeah, maybe wanting to put the kick in there, Suckling, but just finding Dam. Maybe they could have spread it out to the right-hand side, but just taking the tackle, and now the Bulldogs, well, their first piece of possession in what seems like an eternity.
Lauren Dare's been cutting loose with those kamikaze runs at the line. Very willing.
Great description, kamikaze.
Now, the Bulldogs haven't really had a look at Riverina territory as yet. Let's see what they can do. It's Nicole Pender in 13. And the kick from Ward is going to pitch. It's going to be awkward. It's taken really well. And not to any avail. I think she was offside. Now, it was taken well above the head.
And then taken well there by Tess Staines in defence. They will get the penalty though, the Bulls, and they'll go for the tap restart.
It was Shelley Long trailing through. A name traditionally more associated with show business than rugby league, but here we are. Now, Merlihan.
That's what they've shown throughout this country championships, the Bulldogs. They're not afraid, well, both teams rather, not afraid to throw the ball around at all. A great try scored last week by the winger. I don't believe she's playing this week for the North Coast Bulldogs, which is unfortunate. Actually, no, Nikita Binge there on the jersey number 4 scored a great try last week. But both teams, Bulldogs and the Bulls, know how to score, know how to get the points.
It might have travelled forward. It's play on. It has travelled forward. Old Eagle Eye. There's a good shout there from Shanika Harper on the near side. The North Coast Bulldogs, as you say, they have scored some points. They beat the Greater Northern Region Tigers 22-0 up in Coffs Harbour in round 1. They went down to Newcastle in Maitland in round 2, 14-4, but then got past Illawarra South Coast in the semi-final, 24 points to 6. So when they do get a roll on, they have got points in them. Nikita Binge, as you say, top try scorer in the side, and by virtue of that, the top point scorer in the side as well with 12 points.
Yeah, scored a hat-trick last week, so definitely knows the way to the try line.
Now this is 17, that's Lauren Linton. Still about 40 metres from home. Here's another big charge. That's a good run and a brave tackle around the legs. I think it's Rachel Devine making that carry. They'll work the short side now with Whitby. A bit of an appeal from the crowd, but here's Johnston down the wing, hurls it in field. It's fallen on and then it's gone forward. And Riverina will get this back after a bit of enterprise from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Johnson down that left-hand touch line, just trying to get the ball back in, and did, but Binge just taking it out into touch, and I think just a bit too much to do there on that occasion for the left-hand winger for the Bulldogs. But it's been pretty good defence thus far from the Bulls.
Yeah, they've been stout. The first couple of minutes we saw some really big shots. It's all calmed down a little bit since then.
I dare say we'll see a few more before half-time, though.
I reckon you might be right. We've still got 12 minutes till half-time. We're a quarter of the way through this one. As Natasha Clemson takes another run. Been very involved, both those edge-back rowers, her and Merlihan. There's players from all over the Riverina involved in this team. Yanko, Tamora, Wagos. Here's a chance. They're off down the right. This could be a try to Shelley Long. She comes back in field. But she's going to be tackled. But a full set, they won't get a better chance. Here they come, straight and hard at the line. Whitby's a dummy half. It's a short ball there. I think that's Barnett who's close. In the 16, she's twisting, and she's not far away.
Got to spread the ball out to the right, left-hand side.
They've gone right. 3 was Smith. Now there's a chance. It's a really good ball. They're over. And it's Larissa Ward who scored it. The Bulldogs are back square. And in the end, there wasn't too much craft about it. They just counted numbers and put someone through a gap.
Well, they had the numbers both left and right. It was just a few defenders bunching up around the play-the-ball area. They opted to go to the right-hand side, and just some nice catch pass there from the Bulldogs. As we see, great work there from the 9 in Courtney Whitby. Some nice catch pass, and it is the halfback in Larissa Ward who gets over for the North Coast side. Their first try, and it's 4 apiece.
Good football. All came from a mistake, but having got an opportunity, they took it.
You speak about opportunity, and the Riverina Bulls side, the coach Dean Wymark, he speaks about opportunity, and a lot of these girls from the Riverina Bulls side coming from touch and Oztag and league tag backgrounds, not a lot of these girls have played tackle football up until this competition, so just talking about the opportunity that they've got, and they're going to take it. They're in the final here in Mudgee. Fantastic field, fantastic atmosphere as the Bulldogs take their conversion attempts.
Wasn't far away.
And just short. But they'll be loving every moment out there, the Riverina Bulls, and they want to do their coach proud and their families proud, and obviously themselves proud as well.
Been a long journey. We've got players from South Grafton, Sawtell, Kendall, Old Bar, Foster, Bellingen, had a Coffs Harbour. Long way to come.
Racking up the Ks in the car.
Absolutely, and these competitions don't survive without people being willing to make these trips, and often people willing to drive them. But I hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching, whether you're in the Riverina, on the North Coast, or somewhere else altogether. And I hope you're enjoying the lovely shots of Mudgee that we're getting when we take the wide shot.
Yeah, picturesque background here at Mudgee.
We're underway again. It's an awkward kickoff. Back they come. That might be the try scorer, I think, there, Larissa Ward. Carting it back into them.
It is the blue tassels there on her braided ponytails.
Oh, yeah, well, I should be keeping an eye on that. On they come again. That's Devine. And they're off again down the right here with a bit of enterprise. There's a scamper from dummy half. This is long. And they're into Riverina's half again. Barnett. Straight and hard. Good run. And keeps it going. Here's Whitby. Whitby finds Long, who hit the line at real pace. They're not far away here. It's O'Connor who puts the kick in. The deflection ended up unkind. It threatened for a moment. And Riverina can recover. 4-all with 8 to go in the first half. On Bar TV, Morgan Campbell and James Robertson bringing it to you. We've got one more after this, can you imagine? What a feast. You've got no excuse to leave the lounge or the computer chair or wherever you are. We've got the men's under 23s at 2:30. Lucy Lugsden, that is, in 19. Now Revue's dragged down. A good tackle. It's heading towards touch and well taken. Oh, that's an awkward tackle. That's a really awkward tackle.
Yeah, called high.
The trainers will be needed here. It's Kari Williams in the 2. And she got really twisted awkwardly as she went into that. It was perfectly accidental. But she'll need some attention.
Yeah, Madeline Warburton on that far side realised Bulldogs players down. But again, they've been fantastic all through the country championships, the trainers making sure they get on the field and tend to the players, whether they're dehydrated and needing some water or injured and on the deck. Player safety and well, that is first and foremost.
Yeah, well, they're very good. They're trained at at this level. All these trainers have had a lot of first aid education. They know all the procedures and what to do. This looks like they're taking some precautions. They're not going to move Carrie Williams until they got a sense of what's happened.
Maybe some concern with her neck, perhaps.
Well, she did wrench around quite nastily as she went into the tackle. So you can understand why they might want to take some time over this.
And not good to be in this position either. You'd normally want to be face up, face down, definitely not good. So holding the neck and making sure it's in a stable position.
So we might have a stoppage here. There were 10 teams in the Women's Premiership this year. The Illawarra South Coast Dragons finished first. Each side played twice before the semi-finals. Illawarra South Coast finished first. They won both their games. So did Central Coast Roosters, and neither of them are participating in the grand final today. Riverina and North Coast finished third and fourth respectively. But almost every side got a win. Monero, the Western Rams, Newcastle and Hunter, and the Greater Northern Tigers all had a win from one of their 2 games, so it was very even, and in the end just points difference that got Riverina and the North Coast even into the semis, and they now find themselves in the grand final.
And I'll tell you what, Morgan, the testament for both these teams, the Bulldogs and the Bulls, the Bulldogs going in against underdogs, such talent there was in the Dragon side, girls like Kezzy Upps, girls like Jess Surges playing in that side, and they just came ready to play, and they blew them off the park early, really, now, just in that first half.
That's some good news here. Carrie Williams has made her way to her feet and may even keep playing in the game, by the looks.
Maybe a touch of the magic water.
Possibly. She's up. So
brilliant to see.
Yeah. And I think she's heading back into the fray. So good on her. And it's going to be a penalty for a high tackle, so a bit of an arm around the neck as she went into it. I suspect careless rather than malicious, but penalty all the same. No harm done, and on we go.
It's going to help the North Coast Bulldogs get back into the Bulls' territory. Scored on their first possession inside their half, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do with their second real chance here.
7 minutes left. Looks like Smith, the captain, with the ball. And heading towards the touchline, but not quite there. That's touch judge Jack McGrath in the man bun, you can see there. Now McRae, not far away. Ward has already got a try. She's looking for another one there. She's gone without the ball though. It's another penalty. Got him for offside. Wonder if they might think about the goal here. I suppose not. Tap and go, try and get another one. I went a bit wobbly there for a second, but it's Linton with it now. It's still Linton. Defender's being called over. There's a run from dummy half. It's a good one. It's Naomi George, and I think she's got herself a try. She's crashed over, and if I've read that number correctly, it's the 18, Naomi George, who has the North Coast Bulldogs' second try.
Yeah, did the exact same thing last week, just out of dummy half, a few defenders sloping around the ruck area and just picking up the ball, and just the big frame just getting over the line. Going to be pretty hard to stop from that close to the try line, and picking up another try, extending this lead here for the North Coast Bulldogs.
Yeah, she had a look, went one-on-one, and there were only one winner. And Lucy Lugsden there couldn't have too many complaints. She put herself right in the line and just got overpowered. And so Sarah O'Connor has another chance here to push the lead out to a full converted try. It's 8-4. North Coast, having gone down early, having had really none of the ball for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's it, but they're two possessions that they have had in the half of the Bulls. They've used it, they've scored, and hopefully for their sake they go 6 in front.
Here's the kick. It's there. It looks good. Normal service has been resumed. Sarah O'Connor has 1 from 2. The North Coast have 2 tries and a 6-point lead.
And it's great, like you said, Morgan, the first tackle country championships here for the women. Last year playing alongside the 23s in Camden for their finals, while the 16s and 18s got the chance to play here in Mudgee. So having all 4 games here today has been a brilliant atmosphere for the 16 and the 18s as well as the women's. The 23s coming up in our main event at 2:30. It's just a great opportunity to play at such a great venue here in Mudgee.
Yeah, and a good crowd as well, it should be said. We had a lot of people here for the first 2 games with the Western Rams involved, and of course they're representing the Mudgee area, so it was very busy, but there's still plenty in, and plenty of racket being made when these 2 sides cross the line. Now, that was a little bit slow out of dummy half. The referees pinged the marker. She might feel a little bit hard done by there.
And I dare say a lot of the Dragons fans would have stuck around. The 18s getting up, so sticking around for the under-23s, their match with the Monaro Colts. Very much looking forward to that match.
Yeah, it should be good. You'll be here for that one, of course, as will I. Possibly with the assistance of about half a dozen packets of soothers, but on we go. Chance here for the Bulldogs again to make a foray into Riverina territory. O'Connor throwing it to herself again, then throwing the arcing ball. It's a good one too to Robertson. She's still going. She's looking for a pass. She might not need a pass, Robinson. She's dragged down. Now Binge off the hat-trick last week. Linton. Couple of tackles in hand here. Whitby. Roving. Coming back. On the deck. It's knocked on. Good defence from Riverina.
Yeah, first error there for the North Coast Bulldogs inside the half of Riverina. Some good goal line defence. They wanted to tighten that up, conceding the 2 tries. We've got 2.5 to go, and there's not a lot of time. But
time enough.
Might want to get down the other end and try and put some points on, try and level it up before the break.
Well, it would have been a disaster to let one in there, so they held the line well.
They scored a long-range try last week through Tess Staines. Knock onto the scrum. I was going to say they might have wanted to go to the fullback, try and go long range, but it's going to be a chance here for the North Coast Bulldogs to go further in front.
Well, we've had some dramas at scrums today. It's been a bit of a funny day. We've had all sorts of things happening. We even had a scrum penalty earlier, James, which is a sight for sore eyes, you know.
Takes us back to the old days.
Exactly. Beautiful. Now, that scrum looks not too bad. And here's Ward. I think that might have had a touch on the way through. It has. It's 6 to go. Not that it makes too much difference. And that's Williams.
Extra tackle up the sleeve of the Bulldogs, though.
Now Long, roaming infield. She's got O'Connor to her left there. Now George, still dragged down by a few. Whitby's at dummy half. O'Connor, Johnston, Johnston, I am right. Inside. Binge, dragged down. That's 4. Now O'Connor. And George is met strongly. It's all go though, it's all back. Now here's another chance. Through they go. It could be another try to Ward. She loops it over. They're coming back in field. And after being knocked over a few moments ago, Curry Williams has dropped it over the line. I thought that was the redemption arc. I thought she'd risen like Lazarus to score a try.
Yeah, looked to get it down, but just called a knock on there by the referee. So the Bulls breathing a sigh of relief with 23 seconds to go, and they just want to look to get through this set and hear the sound of the hooter, although they come wide out to the right-hand side.
I reckon they wouldn't mind half-time, but here's a chance. It might have gone forward. It's picked up well in the end over there by Pavir. They'll get one more go at them. 5 seconds. Hickey. And I think, there was a kick out there. I wonder if there might be words about that. Yeah, there will be. That's something to boil over in the second half. But it's half-time here after a fairly frenetic first 25 minutes of the first Women's Championship Grand Final. And it's the North Coast who, after conceding the first try, have had the better of it since then. They lead it 10 points to 4. James, a few thoughts on that first half that we've just seen?
Well, just on that last play there, Emma Hickey won't forget about that play there from Nicole Pender. She likes putting hits on her. Dare say she's going to come out in the second half and she's going to want to find her. But a pretty good half there from both sides. Maybe lacking a bit of completion, but I dare say they're going to come out and the lack of completion might be just their enterprising play that we have seen in the first half, and I dare say we'll see more of that in the second.
Well, only time will tell. We'll have a little break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Morgan Campbell and James Robertson signing off from Mudgee for a few moments. We'll be back with the second half of the Women's Grand Final in not too long at all. Welcome back to Glen Willow Stadium. Very good to have you with us for part 3 of our bonanza of rugby league today on Bar TV. We've already had the Johns Cup, which was won all those hours ago by the Northern Rivers Titans. Then we had the Daily Cup, where the Illawarra South Coast Dragons got the better of the Western Rams. Poor Western Rams, 2 defeats in 2 games. And now we've got Riverina with the ball, carting it forward strongly, chasing a 6-point deficit against the North Coast Bulldogs. We could plausibly have 4 different divisions winning the 4 different titles, depending on how that last game goes. But this is Emma Hickey with the ball towards the 40, and James Robertson. What do you reckon Riverina need to do here if they're going to get themselves back into the game?
Well, you spoke about the errors off air that they did make. I dare say they'll want to control the ball a bit more, but they do like to play the expansive brand of football. So you're going to have the right mixture of holding onto the football, but also popping those offloads out. I think they need to find Katoa a bit more. So we'll see what they do in the second half. As we said, penalty for a high shot.
Give them an early chance. So it was Sophie Gaynor there and nearly had her head taken off. Coming back in field. It's all right, though. They're going to kick into touch here and have an early chance to pursue this lead. 25-minute halves here in the Women's Championship, so things happen quickly.
Tough day for the right-hand wingers so far. Curry Williams with a bit of a high shot in the first half as well.
It's not the place to be on that far side. There's a good cart from Smith, who was met strongly as well. And on they come again. This is Dam, who's been running very strongly as well. And she's right in the shadow with the post there. What an opportunity this is. Now this is Saruka Pavada, who goes over next to the posts. Simple game, rugby league. Get a big body running at the line. They're over. And they could square it up with the kick.
Well, I think the Bulldogs saw that they were going to come out to the fullback Testaines, but nice short ball there from the dummy half in Ravu, and Sarah Kabaivata from the Griffith Waratahs just barges over. Pretty simple there.
Let's have a look on the replay. There's not a huge amount to it. She was already running onto the ball. A couple of defenders a bit stuck on the line. Bang, bang, bang. Over she went.
And there's not much you can do there in that situation. They put their body in front. They try to wrap up the football, but just too big, too strong on that occasion.
And so Gabrielle Suckling with a chance to square this. We saw in the Daily Cup, the Western Rams knocked the ball on off the kickoff in the second half when it was 12-all. The Dragons scored immediately off the scrum, and they never gave the lead up.
It proved costly. A lot of possession that the Dragons had in that second half, and the Riverina Bulls, they'll want to do likewise. Hold on to that football, complete their sets, score points. 2 more added to the score there.
Yep, Suckling straight up the guts. 10-all. So it's all set up here for a big finish in front of a willing crowd.
I'll tell you what, Morgan, I've never been to this ground live, Glen Willow. I can't get over the view. It's fantastic.
It's
you know, it'd be very distracting out there playing in a final and then not trying to look around and look at the mountain view that you do have.
Yeah, all around. It's basically a from where I'm sitting, you can see mountains on all sides. It's lovely. We're right on the halfway line. It's lovely temperature. This country championship is about as good an advertisement for Mudgee tourism as you could get. I must say what wasn't a good advertisement for Mudgee tourism was the drive here last night in the dark, which I don't care to repeat anytime soon.
Yeah, it would have been very rough.
It was a little bit treacherous, but anyway.
We made it here in one piece.
Exactly. I think if you are going to come out here, do it during the day.
A much smoother ride, as we said, penalty.
Much
smoother ride at 7 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, that was the wise way. Now, Ravu's got a tap here, or are they going to kick for touch? See how the momentum has ebbed towards Riverina. Now we've got a stoppage. Someone's going to get some treatment. But Riverina, having received the kick-off, gone down and scored. Now have a chance to go and score again.
With the number 17 there, Lauren Linton running back into the right-hand centre position, now going off. Problem there with the jaw.
Well, she's still on. They're playing with 12 at the moment, defending their line, which I would say is inadvisable. She's just making her way back now, but they'll come back to the open side. Here's Saruka Bavada again. Oh, what a good tackle that is. Stopped stone dead. I think it was Kaylee Barnett. It was a beauty. Now, here's Elise Smith in 15. It might have been Rachel Devine who made that very good tackle, in fact. I want to get that right because it was a really good one. Revue. Out the back. This will just slow the momentum a little bit, and it'll slow it all together because North Coast have fallen on it. It's a knock-on in any event. And that run of possession that Riverina enjoyed is at an end.
Yeah, well, I think they should have just gone the catch and pass through, but a long pass out of dummy half and just going behind the half back there, Shannon Pike, the skipper, as we see there on the replay. But good line speed there from the Bulldogs, putting the pressure on the dummy half as well. And just a little fumble there from Shannon Pike. So the Bulldogs, no goal line defence for now. And let's see what they can do with this set.
Oh, bit of hijinks at the scrum again.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter what grade it is, whether it's women's, whether it's even first grade in the NRL, there's problems with the scrums.
Well, nobody knows how to pack them, James.
Oh,
it's just,
well, the referee doesn't know how to tell the players to pack it.
There was one in the last game where the halfback was pushing the forward's legs to make sure that he was sure that he could feed the ball. It's a very strange quirk of the game.
Just take it back to the 80s. Give us back the pushes in the scrums. Yeah,
Lord.
We saw Parramatta do that a lot in the under-18s earlier in the tournament, which was great to see.
Well, it rattles the opposition now.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially
if you can get the ball back.
Oh. It's Barnett. She's going to get away with this. Oh, look out. Hello. I don't know any of that. Dear, oh dear. Barnett and Katoa there. Just a hint of rumble.
Yeah, emotions firing in such a tight contest in a very important game, the final of the Women's Championships.
I suppose it happens.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to kick for touch. They were a fair way from either sideline there. And it's Naomi George who's chopped by Saruka Bavada. That's
Big
a good
smile
contest.
on the face.
And the crowd are getting into this. And why wouldn't they? It's a good contest. And good quality. Short side's on here. Here's the half who's already got a try. Ward. Off she goes. Into space. Chopped down by Revue in cover.
Got to keep cool heads here.
Katoa saw there, Ward. She's done something to her ankle, I suspect. Here's Smith down the right, the captain. They've got a full sweep open on the left. Everyone's to the left of the ruck. They go to Smith. Still going. And that's the 10 you can see on your screen. And just a little bit of the post pad. Left they go. Here's O'Connor. That's wonky, but it might be positively wonky, as it might sit up. No, it'll trickle over the dead ball, over the touch line. I thought for a moment that was going to be a shank to great effect.
I don't think Dean Whitemark would be really happy there with Sarah Kabwai-Vata and Katoa just constantly coming out of the line. Yeah, it's good to put the shot on, but you've got to make sure the tackle's been made. And the Riverina Bulls giving up loads of metres up here through the middle, through that centre third of the field. So the Bulldogs charging up here quite easily, and they're going to start putting the pressure on the Riverina Bulls from a scrum 10 metres out.
I suppose it depends who you rush up on. I mean, you don't really want to be rushing up on Ward or Long or Williams or someone like that who might
someone elusive.
Force them to run, and they might dart back inside and get away from you. Now, from their own posts, basically, Riverina having to work it away, 90 metres from home. That's a really good run, and then a good tackle. It was Clemson with the run, and again it was Devine with the tackle. A good defender. Up the middle they go. Revue picking the runner, finding Katoa, who's back on the field and running sideways again. To some effect, though. She's off. She gets a really good ball away to Gaynor, who's off down the wing. It's Gaynor versus four of them. It's still Gaynor, and she's clattered into touch.
Great one-on-one tackle, Tess Staines.
Oh, she was hit like a bus. Tess Staines. Oh, it's Gaynor down the wing. I think
Shell Long.
Yeah.
Opposite fullback, but that's what you want your fullback to do. What? Nice front-on contact, ball and all tackle.
Well, if ever there was a need for a replay, Katoa,
here we go. Great offload.
She showed good pace down the wing, Gaynor. She's passed three of them, and then look out, bang!
There was just no room to move, and Shell Long, she had the crosshairs right on her. Nice, solid contact, right over the touchline.
Well, that's a moment in the game. Gaynor there could have put them in front with 15 to go. Instead, North Coast have it.
Marissa Ward, she's still struggling out here, getting attention by the trainer.
Yeah, she is.
So they're without their halfback for the moment.
For a full set, you're right. She's still on the field. Number 20, Mishka Randall, is available in Willie. She's got the card. She's coming on, but she's replacing Naomi George. Now, here's Barnett. Ward is hobbling. I'd be surprised if she could carry on running like that. But you're right, losing the halfback would be major.
Yeah, but weight on the shoulders of O'Connor, who has been pretty good here today.
She has. Anyone who does that Benji Marshall kind of bob the ball up to yourself thing is very endearing, I always find. Here's Barnett. And a penalty late in the count. So this is a chance.
And just offside there. Got a bit too excited there, the Riverina side.
It's the sort of thing that upsets coaches.
Yeah, coach killers, we call them, Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want any of those. They find touch.
Late in the count. They've already made the ground for the set. Then they get the kick up the field. 30 metres out, they start. And they start very deep. Might have been a bit confusing for viewers at home there. There was, yeah, she's saying we might want to have someone sort of within 10 metres of the ball. There they go. That's a good carry from Ellie Johnston, wearing 19. She's had a few of those. Now Randall onto the field and having an impact. That's a good run. That's the 10. O'Connor, still O'Connor, dragged down by Katsoa. Whitby. On the middle they go. That's Linton, who's recovered from whatever was ailing her. Now there's a chance from dummy half for Whitby. She reaches out, and it's taken off her. It's stripped in the in goal. They're going to say penalty here. I would have thought she might have had a strip in the art of scoring.
Yeah, I think they've said it's in the field of play. So, okay. Although she was in the act of scoring, the fact that it's happened in the field of play, it'll result as a penalty. As normally in the in goal, it would be a line dropout to the defensive side. As we said, it's that restart.
There goes Randall again, getting it away. Here's a chance for Barnett, not far away, right under the posts. Whitby. Devine found a ball over the top. Here they go in the corner for Williams. This one's a try. She won't be denied this time. She had an injury scare in the first half, but she's got a crucial try in the second.
And if anyone deserved a try there in the second half, it's Kari Williams, extending the lead for the North Coast Bulldogs. Some nice passing, good wide pass there. I think it was the halfback?
I think it might have been
Ward. She's been hobbling on one leg.
The ball. Yeah, it was Ward. Look at her there, turned up. As you say, she has been hobbling.
What's this for a pass?
She might be a bit crooked. She's thrown the Big Harbour Bridge over the top to Kari Williams.
Oh, you speak about the Benji Marshall comparison, Sarah O'Connor. What about the Long Harbour Bridge pass? I remember a couple of years ago, Benji Marshall going from one upright to the other to Bo Ryan in the corner.
Right. At Leichhardt Oval, I remember that.
Yeah, and Kari Williams, it pays dividends. She gets over the line. Now a tough conversion here for O'Connor.
O'Connor from, what would we say, maybe 3 inches in from the touchline? Wouldn't be any more.
Oh, maybe 2.
Yeah, here she comes. Well, she's hit that all right, you know. That's on its way. Oh, it's not far away. 14-10. You'd think if Riverina can score, it might need to be near the posts.
And you said the goal kicking has been pretty good here today. Some tough conversions for both sides, the Bulldogs and the Bulls.
Yeah,
but if Riverina, if they can score underneath the post, Tess Staines, she's a bit of a weapon. Could go a long way to regaining the lead, but 11 and a half minutes to go. Time flies by. Let's see what Riverina can come up with in defence for this set.
Well, it's all on them now. Both sides have had their chances. North Coast have taken 3. Riverina only 2. But it's been a really good game. And we could yet get the big finish. That looks like Nicole Pender in 13 taking it forward. Now it's held up. And that's Barnett, who I don't think's been off, but she has turned that over. And Liao Seve can come at them. And now we will get a show. That's 19. That's Lugsden. Katoa's looming ominously to the right of the ruck. She'll get it now from Revu. Bash, barge, bang. Up she goes. That's the 10 you can see. They're a bit short on the right here. They go to the left instead. It's Suckling. The Bulldogs, I should say, were short on that side of the field. Here's Revu. Looking for a pass, might not need a pass. Ravu reaches out, gets it down. Ua Ravu. 14 all. We are on for a finish here.
Well, the pendulum doesn't know which way to swing. We've seen tries to the Bulldogs, and now another try here to the Riverina Bulls. Nice play there from the dummy half. Had players surrounding the ball, and the Bulldogs, they know how dangerous Ravu is out of dummy half in finding a player like Katoa, but on this occasion, she just goes herself, draws the marker out, and a nice dummy. And again, there's not much there that the Dogs can do. They tried to tackle her, but just had the ball free and got it over the whitewash.
Well, good dummy halves. They've got to pick the right time to run the ball. She hasn't done too much running today, Ravu, but the minute she took it, it was the right time.
And maybe it wasn't the right occasion, but sometimes you've got to chance your arm and just take the defence on. And
well, off a couple of big runs from the forwards, they were sort of flat on the line and had the momentum. Now, listen to the crowd, listen to the Riverina support who are down that end of the grandstand, showing plenty of encouragement to Gabrielle Suckling here, who has a kick for the lead with 9.5 minutes to go. You only get one chance to be the first ever women's country champions. And if she puts this over, it'll go a long way. With plenty of support over her shoulder. Let's see. It looks good. It looks really good. Really, really, really good. Riverina 16. North Coast 14.
9.5 to go. The Dogs, well, both teams have played pretty well. You know, both teams both deserve to win, but it's just going to come down to this last couple of minutes. Who's willing to show the fight and desire that it takes to win these big matches? Both coaches would have spoken about it. If it comes down to a really tight contest in the dying stages, you really look for players to take off and make a difference, and they're going to need something special here, both these sides, if they want to win.
Now, that was an arcing ball by Ravu, which ended up with Katoa. Eventually, she shrugs a couple off Katoa. Listen to the crowd up that end of the field.
She's a fan favourite, Katoa.
Yeah, rightly so. Here's Leo Seve in the 8. Players, they've come from a fair way away, Riverina. There's players from Yanko, Tamora, Wagga, Albury, Yenda, Leeton, Griffith, Junee, Hay. So, having come all this way, you sort of want to go home with the win, I'd have thought. Here's Ravu. Leo Seve again. She's from the Yenda club. Ravu, Suckling. Trying to exert some control here. That's a good kick and really well taken over there. Really well taken.
Yeah, positive signs here for the Bulldogs, making sure they try and get back on side. These forwards and the outside backs are going to have to put their hands up and help each other out. And good line speed here for the Riverina Bulls.
Well, the player we saw field that kick, Nikita Bin, she said she scored a hat-trick last week. She hasn't seen much of the ball today, and maybe if they want to get one late and force their way back in front, she might be one of the players to find with a bit of pace and maybe a bit of a step. But we'll see. Here's another big carry. Randall looking to get it away. She got it away all right. Forward back to Riverina. Here they come. And it was Dam who fell on it. 7.5 minutes left. Ravu and Clemson.
Really good day for Clemson out here today. A lot of strong carries.
They can almost get out of sight here. Pike. Still Pike. Turn the hips and threaten to go through. Plenty of tackles in hand. Ravu. Couldn't be Clemson again. It is, you know. Dragged down. And the marker is all over Ravu there, and it'll be a penalty. So this is going to mean more possession for Riverina. I keep thinking the touchies come flying in, but it's the
yellow shirt
trainer in the yellow. They're wearing the same colours. I thought for a second there might have been some incident.
We had an incident last week where the referee actually went off due to an injury, so thankfully we haven't had that in any 3 of our games so far today.
Yeah, don't
Here comes the Bulls, Katoa.
Here's Katoa, charging at them. If they could score and convert, they'd almost be out of sight with 6 to go. Ravu, still. Held up and gets there. She got there in the end. And she has almost won this on her own. It was 10-all a minute ago. And she's got out of dummy half twice and scored. And put them ahead. And now put them 6 ahead.
A try double there for Ravu. Last week she was looking for all the supporters, and in this second half she's taken it upon herself to go out of dummy half, really put the Bulldogs defenders in 2 minds, straight through the middle. Some solid work there in the defensive line there from the Bulldogs, but she was just all too much.
And look at how happy they are. And why wouldn't they be? Having made the journey. They had to go to Sydney in round 1 to St Mary's. They had to go to Wollongong in round 2. Woy last week.
They clocked
all
up
over
the
state.
case.
Yeah, out to Mudgee today. And now Suckling with this kick can send them 8 clear. And it'd mean that North Coast would need to find 2 scores.
I spoke about it earlier in the coverage of Coach Dean Wymark. He spoke about the opportunity for these women, that a lot of them that haven't come from a tackle football background, a lot of them league tag.
It's over.
We see the conversion, league tag, Oz tag, touch football. They're just out there for an opportunity to win this country championships, and they've had to take it week by week, and they're just out there having fun. They're throwing the ball around. They're playing for each other, and it's great to see. You see the happiness on their faces. They're up by 8 points as the clock winds down. They're going to play to the very final whistle.
They're raising their voices, aren't they? They don't want to let it slip now. Having found a gear when they were 14-10 behind. They have turned it very quickly. Now inside ball from Katoa. Here goes Staines up the middle, burning past them, still going Staines, over the 20, over the 10, under the posts. They're going to win it. The first women's country champions are going to be the Riverina Bulls on the back of 5 magical minutes.
Oh, you see
at the
that?
Back end of the game.
The hairs on my arm, they're standing up, the goosebumps are here. Great stuff there for the Riverina Bulls. It was Katoa. I spoke about the danger of Katoa in that offload, and Tess Staines, she could score a try from pretty much anywhere. Great work out of dummy half. Just the 2 markers just scored in 2 minds. A nice pass on the inside there from Katoa, and Tess Staines, she's got speed to burn.
Look at how
beat
many
the
she goes
fullback.
past. She's gone past half a dozen.
Oh, she's left him in the dust. Great work, Tess Staines.
And Katoa, who's been running all day, fending them off, barging past people, for the first time just stopped, attracted the defenders, and give it to someone else.
And look, she was the first one there to greet the try scorer,
Yep.
the person that she gave the ball to.
She's been the big target, and she's produced a wonderful pass. It wasn't that long ago North Coast had hit the front. (26-14). Gabrielle Suckling, who's kicked very, very well. Kicks very well again. The lead is 14.
And just to think, Morgan, this is only game 3. We've still got 1 more game to go.
Yep, and every single one of them has been alive with 10 to go and been decided by one of the sides finding one more effort, finding a gear. They've been tremendous, all of them.
And not only is it great for the fans here, it's great for the fans watching at home, watching through Facebook Live, stream through Bar TV. The only place you can see the Country Championships live for all 4 grades here on Grand Final Day here in Mudgee.
I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it wherever you are. If you're watching in the Riverina, maybe, I don't know, a ticker tape parade down the main street of Leeton or something like that.
Oh, there'll be a party at someone's house here tonight.
There would be for the winners. I'd like to think there'll be some maroon and gold streamers somewhere to celebrate this achievement. The first time they've held this competition, the first time it's been run. and they're going to win it. Winning 3 of their 4 games. Suckling with the ball. North Coast must be wondering what happened. It was all going pretty well about 5 minutes ago. How quickly it can disappear. Here's Staines. They could really make a show of this late on. There's 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. And that's a wobbly kick down there. It's fielded well. And they can attack, they can have a go at them. North Coast, but it's not going to be too much effect. 45 seconds to go. They won in round 1, they lost in round 2, but they won the semi-final against the favourites. And Tess Staines' 5th try of the season has sealed it. There's a penalty here to North Coast. But the Riverina supporters down that end of the grandstand can barely find the energy to grouse about it. It trickles back. 15 seconds left. They ought to enjoy this, and North Coast ought to enjoy it too. They've travelled far and wide. They've played well. They played well today and given the lot. But here's the countdown. It's over. It's over. They're playing on. But the whistle, the referee was about to call it out. Jess Staines is going to run around, boot it into touch, and finish it off. Riverina are the first ever winners of the New South Wales Country Rugby League Women's Championship. They've done it 28-14 over the North Coast Bulldogs in what you can only describe as a late flurry. And James, you would have to say that by putting all those points on when it really counted, they well and truly deserved it.
Yeah, that's right. It was a slow start for the Riverina Bulls, a few punches here and there. It was like a heavyweight boxing fight. It was the knockout blow that got him a few quick tries late in the piece. That Tess Staines try really put the game to rest. It was a good showing from the North Coast Bulldogs for the most part, but I think it was just that exuberance and, again, that opportunity to be here on the big stage. They took it, they played for the full 50 minutes, and at the end of the day, they just came out, played for each other, and ended up getting over the line.
Yep, a very well-deserved win. They're setting up the table again. We're about to see another presentation. Thank you very much, James. I hope you've enjoyed the call as much as I have. I hope you've enjoyed it wherever you're watching. As I say, people in Leeton, Wagga, Temora, Albury, get the streamers out. Make sure these players get a good welcome when they get back, presumably sometime tomorrow, because they're the first ever winners of this competition. We'll be back in a few moments. It's only 2:30 that the last game kicks off, so about 15 minutes time from now, we will be seeing the Illawarra South Coast Dragons and the Monero Colts in the Under-23s Country Championship final, and that will do us for the day. Stick with us, but we'll be back in about 15 minutes for that final game. It's Morgan Campbell and James Robertson signing off for the time being from Glenwellow Oval.